This is a continuation. With this powder and this, but we need some scissors to snip this because we don't want to rip the dice at all. Very carefully there. So we'll get rid of this stuff, but we've got the smokiness in there from the red ink, and the powder seems to have settled mostly at the bottom, but there is some glitter further down as well. So let's see if we can very carefully. Ooh. Don't know which one to go for next. See if we can cut some of this away a little bit. Obviously, you've got to be very careful when you do this so you don't ruin your dice or your mould. So the reason you get the excess is when you put the lid on the mould, there has to be a bit extra in there because of the number faces on here, because you want them to leave an imprint on the top side of your dice. But doing this too quickly, too much haste, can actually ruin your beautiful dice set. Or not so beautiful dice set, we don't know till we get them out. I mean, they look alright at the moment. Mica powders are definitely heavier, so I think that's why it's sinking to the bottom there. So let's see which ones we can get out now. They're a little bit tricky. Oh, there we go. Come on, out you come. I really don't want this to tear. There we go. And get underneath. There's a cat. The noise of a cat exiting. Sorry about that. Right. There we go. So the swirls tend to be mostly at the bottom. Sorry. Looks pretty good though. Some of these can be pretty tricky to get out, especially this seems to have set the thickest that I've had so far, but less came out of the mould when I put it in when I put the lid on. So that's interesting. Oh, I like that 20. So the mica powder, although it says it's red, I'd say that's a little bit more pink. It's definitely red in certain lights, but I think that's a bit more pink. So it's going to make it interesting for inking, because we've got the big no-no there, which is red and pink together. So we'll see if you have suggestions. I can't work on these for a few days, but if you have suggestions for inking colours, that's appreciated. Oh, come on. There we go. I've got some nice swirls going on there. A bit like blood in water, or red ink in dice, really. Let's just snip the last bit. So I'm not sure why this ended up so thick on the top of this particular one, and I've made made these before, it's definitely been thinner across the top, so I'll have to watch that. These went in the pressure pot yesterday, I had been doing them at 40 psi constantly. These were in at 50 rather than 40, and they were in overnight, and then this morning when I got up they were still pressurized at about 20, so I'm hoping these will be pretty good. They look pretty good. I can see a surface bubble here though. I don't know if you can see that right there. It's only on one dice face, but I suspect it's too deep for me to do anything about. Now that extra resin on top should have filled that cavity, but for some reason it didn't. So that must have been quite a big bubble there. It won't make the dice unusable, it's just a bit annoying. But we will have to see. I might be able to fill it, I'm not sure yet. But they came out pretty nice. I'm quite happy with these, apart from that void. But we'll see what we can do with that.